Hey, how's it going? I'm Ron.
I'm Zach.
We're from Widetrack, just out here on a beautiful afternoon by the riverside, and we wanted to do another episode here of Influences, where we take a band and we just talk about how their music has influenced us. Last week we did Queens of the Stone Age, and that was really cool. This week Zach wanted to talk a little bit about Tool and just kind of give a, oh yeah, he's representing, as you can see. And so Zach, how did this band first have an impact on you?
I listened to vicariously, really just how all four of the members were all present and all very apparent and all very important in the song, and how each one of them kind of took the throne instead of it being a only guitar song or an only drum song or guitar and vocals. Like a lot of music, even then and now, is kind of formed, and just seeing with all these different sort of points of interest being kind of cycled through, it kind of inspired me to think you can make everything important in a song. You don't have to have one good thing and everything backing that up. You can have a bunch of good things and everything just kind of slightly overlapping and connecting with each other, and it can be an even greater song. So I think you know, it inspires me to think, well, hey, I could just copy whatever the guitar part's doing, or I could write something that just kind of layers with it. Maybe layers as a perfect middle ground between guitar and drums, or vocals, guitar and drums, and find what really also fits the mood of the music and what really brings everything together with, while also keeping it complex, you know?
I love it. I couldn't agree more. It's you know, it makes me think of, like, from when they first formed, I believe it was 93, 92,
yeah,
with their first EP, Opiate.
Or they had an EP before that, but Opiate was the one that was released.
Okay. And so they go back to probably 90, 91. And
I think they started at about 89.
Okay.
And then at about 90, you know, they started recording and releasing things. And
so all the way to their last album, 10,000 Days,
2006.
which is 2006, and as everybody knows, it's been 11 years, and they've had a lot of setbacks, and there's a lot of people up in arms about how long it's been taking to make this next album. But I just wanted to kind of back up a little bit here and have you go through just a quick ramping of their progression throughout the years.
I think when they started off in Opiate, there's a lot of songs from that I really like, but you know, Opiate, my bad, I'd fallen out of there. Anyways, Opiate, I love it. Not what really hooked me at first, not one of the first things I listened to, but it's still, I mean, a couple songs from there were some of my favorites. Undertow, very similar, although very different, more kind of gloomy, more, I want to say, gives you a scratchy feeling of kind of how heavy it is. Feels like nails on a chalkboard almost, but it's like
kind of a more straightforward metal album, but
yeah, but
still
at the same time,
elements that
they had their image of, it's kind of disgusting, but you don't want to look away.
Right.
Know?
And then they had Anima, which was when they changed bass players to Justin Chancellor, who became a big force in their writing.
Something that influences me about that.
Food chain is that for you?
Something that influences me about that is that a bass player can change the whole sound of a band.
Indeed, indeed.
I don't know. I mean, hey, maybe I'll make Widetrack a jazz band. Yeah, it's a good thought.
Anyway, so Anima was kind of a turning point for the band. New bass player who they seemed to be a bit more of a cohesive unit at that point. And
more
then,
of an enlightened sort of feel.
It's more. They had a lot more progressive elements at that point. And so they went from Anima to Lateralis, which became a much more positive turn for them, lyrically speaking.
Where Anima was negative, humanity is its own worst enemy. Lateralis was more, you know, maybe it's not too bad after.
We got a chance to turn this around, kind of thing, if we can just embrace the light and the truth, and etc., etc. And then that brings us to 2006's
10,000 Days, where same sort of message from Anima. Nah, humanity sucks.
Yeah, humanity.
Here's why, here's how.
We have a lot of problems that they're not going to be so easily fixed, and here's another mirror for you to be thinking about. So, in an overall sense, the influence that this band has, and also certainly the message that they continue from in the words of Timothy Leary, think for yourself, question authority. That was always a big thing with Tool. They wanted to just kind of show a mirror to humanity, as dark as that mirror might be, and say, hey,
is this really what you want?
Yeah, is this kind of where we're headed, you know? But they also just have an impact of showing people what's possible with the band. I mean, the idea that their songs on the radio are 7+ minutes long, that's just unheard of in this day and age, and yet Tool is able to kind of go down a stream that they defy all of these rules that apply to a lot of other bands. Case in point, their last album being 11 years ago and counting. A lot of people are just up in arms about it. Personally, for me, I know not everybody thinks this way, but I'm just like, whatever it takes for a new Tool album to exist is, you just gotta let it be what it takes, because
if it takes 11 years and it's the most
I believe the next one will be
intricate, amazing album.
Yeah, it's gonna be great, you know, and it's like, it's better that that's in the world than not. So if it takes 11 years, that waiting sucks.
So
but
what?
Yeah, and certainly it's nice to have some of Maynard Keenan's side projects, Perfect Circle and Pussifer, out there to at least whet the appetites for Tool fans to a certain degree. But yeah, I think it's safe to say we're all looking forward to the next one, and there's certain to be more influence drawn from that. You got any final words you want to say here to people about Tool?
Yeah,
anything to recommend? Or
if I had to recommend anything, I'd say listen to the hits first, dig deeper afterwards. Like any band, you want to listen to what the mass majority says is great, and then you dig deeper for yourself. You find things that you say, I mean, that's great, not for me though. And you find things that are like, whoa, that just connects. Yep. You know, I feel it.
Yeah, it's funny. That's the song that got me, was Sober, their most popular hit. And
yeah.
I saw that video. It was the little stop motion photography, the little voodoo doll looking stuff, and I'm like, what is this? And that constant riff was just so hypnotic. And from there, that was the album that drew me in, Undertow, and to have them come out with each album was such a huge step. I just fell in love with the band from the start. So it'd be great to have more bands like that in the world. So anyway, we're running out of time here, so just want to say thanks for hanging with us, and welcome all your comments, and let's keep the discussion going for these bands.
Got any you'd like to, you know, hear how they've influenced us? We'll try not to ramble about how great they are too much.
Right.
But I mean, hey, who can resist?
Exactly. So we'll be talking with you soon. Till next time, keep on rocking.